Hello and welcome back to Mobility Warrior. So you can hear the airy music going, that means we are warming up. That's right, start from head to toe, circle that neck around. Round and around and around we go. We're going to go about 10 each direction. That seems to be a magical number, 10. See, we just switched. Now you guys can skip this, but this is just a really good way to get everything moving, especially if you're not 21. Okay, stop traffic in both directions. Do your best to move just the shoulder joint. These are arm circles. Once again, 10 in each direction. There we go, now we're going backwards. Okay, shoulder bones are connected to the hip bones. Well, anyway, we're going to the hips next. Circle around, it'll feel a little stupid. That's okay. We're having a good time. We're out here just one highway away from the beach. I love this spot. As far as I can tell, it's an abandoned farm of sorts. 10 each direction, by the way. So you can see by the barbed wire that it used to be pretty important. No idea what used to be out here. But right now, it's just empty land. So technically, this may be trespassing. Knocking on the door! Or knocking on heaven's door. So you just pivot at the hips, let the arms go loose. Should be a subtle back massage. This is actually from Qigong. It is supposed to be really good for everything. It loosens you up, works your core, and even your internal organs will be happy. Okay, time to do the poor man's Charleston. Here we go. Circle those knees around. Knees. You only appreciate them when you don't got them anymore. And you see that? We switched directions, which meant that was 10. And if you're just watching me, you're making me feel awkward. Come on, hop in. Do some warming up. Especially if you just woke up, all your muscles are cold. Okay, here we go. We're going to hinge at the hip until here. Then we pop down one vertebrae at a time. Right foot goes to the right hand. You open up the chest. Same thing on the other side. And then we walk the hands back up. Pop back up. One vertebrae at a time, starting at the hip bone. And up we go. Let the head go loose. Wibbly wobbly. And we do it again. Ready? Hinge! And one vertebrae at a time. Let that head go loose. You know, the human head weighs between 8 and 10 pounds. I read that. It's always sitting on your neck like a jerk. It feels good to let it loose once in a while. And here we go. Open the chest up. And it was so fun. We're going to do it one more time just as soon as we go back up. One vertebrae at a time. Wibbly wobbly. Come on, do it. Do it. No, not right now. Okay. Back down. Shake that head. And walk it out. Alright, open up one more time. And back up we go. Little by little. Okay, time for a nice horse stance. We're going to do some punches. So you see I focus right, left, and each time we leave the focus is when you leave the fist out and then you switch them. This gives you a little more rotation. Now we're going a little higher. And you may laugh, but a horse stance is tremendously beneficial. It roots you to the ground. If you bend your knees a bit, you get a little bit of a leg workout. Not huge, but a little isometric thing. If you hold it for hours on end like the monks do, things will be different, but, you know, you'd be a monk. Alright, here's the movie countdown. I'm doing the 1-2 punches, but little do I know, it's time to start hopping. So, agility grid step. Take it at a nice, even pace. Just forward and backward. This is a nice, easy segue into our workout. So we're going to be moving around a little bit. We have resistance training mixed in. You'll see.
3, 2, 1. Rest.
Okay, shake it off for about 10 seconds, and then we have our first squats of the day. So we're going to drop into these.
3.
These are called, drumroll please, grid hop squats. So you start on the back 2 squares of the grid, and you let yourself drop into the front 2. You see, I'm trying very hard to go parallel. Parallel is important. That means your thigh bones are parallel to the ground, and that is what we want, ladies and gentlemen. If you want a little bit of extra credit, you can drop all the way in, but you have to keep your spine neutral, and really we're just focusing on the plyometric. Anyway, now you already get to rest. Isn't that nice? 2 exercises, 1 minute of work, and we get to rest for 30 seconds. But we are going to hop back into it. So now's a good time to shake it off and wander off camera, contemplate your life. That's what I like to do. Down to that 10-second mark. I better hurry back. Will I make it? Yeah, here I go.
3, 2, 1.
And here we are, hopping around. Okay, 1 foot in each square, forward and back. I'd rather see an even pace that you can do fluidly for the full 30 seconds. Then jolts of energy, kick the grid around. Nothing wrong with kicking the grid around. I kick the grid around once in a while, you'll see. But this right here, this is my happy pace. You see, got the arms moving. Almost looks like a little dance.
3, 2,
And that's what life is. It's one beautiful dance. That's right, buddy. Straighten out that grid. All right, in 5 seconds, we got some more drum roll, grid, hop, squats. Notice we don't spend a lot of time. We don't pack a lunch at the top of the movement. We just bounce into those squares and right back down. So once again, you want to keep your back neutral. Go as low as you feel comfortable. I like parallel for things like this. You can go lower if you want. Lower, sorry. But once again, that explosive movement popping back into those back 2 squares is most important. And already we get to rest again. Isn't life grand? It's almost like we're not working out, we're just having fun. So with all these rests,
3,
we just need to make sure we really get our heart going when we move. So here we are. Go as fast as you can without losing form. 1 foot in each grid as you pop forward and back. Just keep moving. That's what we're doing today. We keep moving until we stop. And time. Okay, shake it off for a little bit. This little rest is just kind of built in case we need to move the grid between exercises. We don't, but
3, 2, 1.
we're already going anyway. Back into those hop squats. All the way down, all the way down, all the way down to parallel. You can go further if you want. Spine has to stay neutral. Common wisdom is that knees should not go over the toes during a squat. I like to adhere to this, but that mainly pertains to heavy weighted squats. And in any case, if the knees go over the toes, a lot of the times you're not keeping your spine neutral, so you want to keep that as neutral as possible, but
3,
don't freak out over it. We're just hopping into this squat, that explosive movement. You should be feeling a little bit in your quadriceps by now, and that means we're doing our job. So this is one of my favorite workouts of the series. It gets your heart rate up. You get to do a little bit of resistance. You don't have to do tons and tons of it. Your heart rate doesn't go through the roof. Okay, here we go. And here's horse stance half-court punches, or you could call them grid kickers, because it's very hard not to kick the grid around every once in a while. You want to hop into the grid, off to the corner, and punch. You see sometimes, there it goes, I kicked it. Sometimes I really like to keep one of the punches focused. Sometimes I bring it back to elbow position. And I do occasionally like to switch off which hand leads. But that's just personal preference. As long as you move and punch, as you can see, the punches are not going to be beautiful. But you try to keep them centered. Keep your wrist as straight as you can. You're kind of multitasking. You're moving around and punching, and you know, how like life. Alright, some good old-fashioned push-ups. So what we want to do with full range push-ups is, of course, touch the chest to the ground. And at the top, you almost want to roll your shoulders forward, separate your shoulder blades. And that means you're really going to the top. Just slow and controlled. If you want to move it fast, do that going up. But going down, concentric. There we go. Always has to be slow. Alright, so you can see as these workouts go on, you can kind of make me out back there. I like to mill around and just kind of contemplate life. And I invite you to do the same. Alright, not long now. Get ready. Okay, at one point, well, I don't want to spoil the surprise. And again with these, keep them as neat as you can. You see, you never want to lock the knees, ever in life, really. Always keep those knees a little bit bent. That doesn't mean you have to do a crab walk to the office, but it does mean that you never want to lock those into the top position, even though it makes it easier to stand around. It's bad for your circulation. Everything gets sad. So knees are not as bent as a normal horse stance, but you do want to keep them kind of loose. Always stay loose, my friends. And we are wandering around preparing for the next set. I wonder what it's going to be. Push-up punches this time. Big surprise, as the person who did the workout. So you can't tell it from this angle, but what I'm trying to do is at the top, chamber the punch, and then punch through. I start going across here. You can go straight forward, or you can go diagonal across your body. A lot of people don't know this, but the main job of your pectoral muscles is to move your arm across your body. So it's good to... Anyway, we're done. And look at that. Just like that, we got another 30 seconds to toy around. I'm going off camera to have a sip of water, but I'll be back. Will I be back in time? Only 10 seconds left. So I was talking about how beautiful this spot is here, and I stand by that. This is one of my favorite spots. Well, here, let me talk about this first. So I'm picking a side to start on. I like to start on the right kicks. So what we want to do is get wide enough to a reverse lunge. If you go too narrow, you will get wobbly. So think about your half moon or your fighting stance. And go maybe even a little wider than that. You can see for me it lines up with the second set of squares on the grid. And at the top, we kick. Okay, so here's the surprise. Somebody with a horse was coming at me, so I decided to clear out, and I was about to pull my tripod out of the way because I don't want to be one of those people. And then the lady with the horse kindly waved at me and then turned around. I decided to leave it in the video because it's pretty long by now. Okay, so now we do the other foot, obviously. So you can see my left foot looks a little cattywampus. The earth is uneven there, so I put it out on the edge and I had to tweak it. But it's also the angle, like you shouldn't have to worry about that. But don't get too narrow. When you chamber the kick, bring your kicking leg as close as you can to your other leg. Imagine a cricket's legs. See, these are starting to get hard already. Imagine a cricket's legs rubbing together and making sound. If you had cricket legs, and that would be weird. They would chirp every time you chamber a kick. And if that doesn't give you nightmares for the rest of your life, I've not done my job. Okay, here we are, another rest. See? Life is not that hard, people. We can do this. We can get through this workout. That's right, wipe the sweat off, get a sip of water. down to 5 seconds.
3, 2, 1. Work.
Alright, back to these punches. How many times will I kick the grid? Now it's much better here. You can see in another workout. I do this on a bunch of loose dirt, which is a beautiful spot, I think. I love being there all around all the trees, but when you do this, it just makes it really easy to knock this thing around. And it's hard enough not to knock it around as it is. Look at this, I haven't kicked it once. I'm gonna write to Mom about this. Oh, there it goes. Too soon. Sorry, Mom.
2.
And around we go.
Rest.
Woo! Okay. Time to do some more kicking.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. We're introducing archer squats in this. So we only do one set, but the idea here is, in this case, my right leg is doing all the work. Once again, I'm trying to keep my knees from going over my toes, but don't cry if yours go a little bit over. Left leg is just standing around, looking pretty. Almost locked, not quite, but as much of your weight as possible is going on your right side. This just makes them that much more challenging.
Between sets.
Like I said, we only do one set on each side of your body. But these come up later, and we're just throwing in some variations. We did some push-ups with the punches. The reverse lunges have already worked each leg in isolation, and we got some kicks in. So now, we're just going to go to the left side as soon as it comes back around. But there's a little surprise for you, because before we do archer squats on the left, we are going to do more of these. Hop around that grid, my friend. Some really ugly punches here. They're not going to be pretty, but you can see they're pretty centered. You want to keep your punches centered. Chamber them as much as you can, get as much rotation out of them as you can.
3.
It's a lot more stressful punching from here than stationary, and that's kind of the point. Plus, it's a hell of a lot of fun. And if you don't agree, that's okay. Okay, get ready for those archer squats on the left. So there's nothing I need to say here that I didn't already say on the other side. But just go low enough. Try not to tweak your back. You see there's a very slight lean. That happens hinging at the hip. Very slight, by the way. Keep that back straight. I find it beneficial to keep my knee from going over my toes, but like I said, I'm not squatting 300 pounds with a barbell, so it's not as important. And here we are. See, another rest. In life, one must rest. Okay, and it's time. Back to the step, and that's right, we have come full circle. This is such a simple exercise, and I love it so much. Tell I love it a little less every time. The minute that bell dings, it's like done. Alright, here we go. We're going again. What are we going to do? I hope not squats. Oh, it's squats again. So we're dipping into those squats, baby. That's right. Go parallel, my friends. I would love to make that a bumper sticker. It might be a bumper sticker. You see, these are starting to really suck. I almost thought about walking off the job here, but I stuck around. And I did it for you. Down we go. Alright. So when I started filming these workouts, I decided that I was going to do a narration. Because I didn't want to deal with the microphone cutting out or all the wind that I have in the area just going on the microphone. And I didn't want that thing. A lot of times people do workouts that follow along and they like stop moving to tell you what to do, and I feel like that's a cop-out. So I want to be suffering every step of the way. And let me know what you think about that. Okay, here we go. Push-up, hurdle taps. What does that mean? Well, I just folded up my grid. In every push-up, I reach across, trying not to tilt too much, and just give it a little tap. Just a little love tap. You don't have to hit it hard. And this is just a way of engaging the core a little bit more. You engage a lot of muscles when you do a push-up. And this is a way of turning that up a little bit. So as we near the end of the workout, like you see here, we're going to do something isometric. What that means is, so I'm hooking my index and middle fingers and I'm pulling apart. So I'm trying to pull my fingers apart, and I can't do it. And you shouldn't be able to do it. Pull your elbows apart and straight back at the same time. You see I switched. That way the rotation of my hands doesn't give one side or the other preference. I'm holding a horse stance. I suggest you do that too. Get your legs a little pop as well.
2, 1.
And just like that, we're done. So I did my best to switch every 7 to 10 seconds. And that's kind of so we're dipping into a lot of things in this workout. We got to try out some unilateral movements. That means one leg at a time. We modified push-ups. Sometimes we're punching, sometimes we're tapping. And we did some archer squats, and we got a little bit of isometrics in here because we do want to work the back every time. A lot of times we do Supermans.
2, 1.
Today, we did isometric pulls. And back to these taps. Okay, I do love tapping this grid. Back and forth. Reaching right across. Plus, it takes some of the boredom out of doing push-ups. By the time you get to a certain point in the martial arts, you've done so many push-ups that you just... But like I said before, it's good for the core. It's fun. Just do it because it's fun. That's all you really need. Okay, I'm getting ready to pull my hands apart now. And the reason I pair a lot of these exercises together is because, like, the push-up is the pushing muscle, these are the pulling muscles. So once again, pull as hard as you can. So isometrics is you're pulling against an immovable force, which in this case is yourself. There are variations of this where you pull across your body, and that's yielding. But we're not doing that right now. We're just straight up isometrics. And the final switch.
3, 2, 1. Wrist between sets.
And we get another wrist. Alright, back to our stepping. We are going forward, we are going back, we are having a grand old time. So keep those arms moving, and around we go. Forward and back, forward and back. Now you guys probably know, I bet you know what the next exercise
3,
is going to be. It will be drum roll.
3, 2, 1.
Hop squats. What else am I going to say about these? We've been through them a lot, even just this workout. Just keep dropping into those squats and pop out. Land on the squares in back of you. You will be a happy camper. Although you both kind of want to give up at this point. And if not, you are, hey, I invite you to do whatever you feel like to cool down. What I'm doing here is a little bit of ab work. You just stand there, you bring one knee across to your opposite elbow, cross it over your body to the other elbow, and try not to drop the elbows. Bring your leg up to the elbows. And you'll notice a lot of the times I just throw in some abdominal work at the end. It's kind of, I don't know, soothing. And in a second, if you're familiar with Tai Chi, this will be, not this, this is just circling up the arms. But this breathing exercise will be familiar as the opening. Well, okay, so you just bring your hands up, breathe in, extend, kind of rock back on your heels as you exhale and bring the arms down. And it doesn't matter, we're done. All right, great job. I will stumble off and turn the camera off. And I hope you had